Hello everyone, I'm Brian, and this is Phantasy Star. It's an RPG that came out in 1988, released on the Sega Master System by Sega. That makes it a contemporary to Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy, the original. I think in the United States it came out just before them in 88, and Dragon Warrior was 89, and Final Fantasy was 90. While in Japan, the opposite is true, and Phantasy Star came out last of the three games. So, this was pretty much the first RPG I ever played when I was a little kid. So, it's pretty near and dear to me. Let me show you the intro here. It's also a little sci-fi themed, which sets it apart from those other games. So here I am on Palma. And that's my brother. He's not doing so well. Those faux stormtroopers kicked his ass. I guess this Nero is not the one. Wah wah. So the first big difference about this game from other RPGs at the time is you're going to see right here in another screen or two, and that's that the main character is a girl, female protagonist, way back in 1988. So that's Alice, and now you're playing. Here you are. Here's what those, I call them faux stormtroopers, because this is what they look like. Pretty great, huh? Now, a couple of funny things about this game. Shops, just like any other RPG. This is a secondhand shop. That makes sense. What doesn't really make too much sense, though, is... maybe it's just translation, I don't know, but this is a first food shop. Secondhand, first food. Not only that, but the food of choice in the future is cola or burger. Not branded. And the last shop over there is an armory where you can get weapons, armor, that sort of stuff. There's also this church. This is where you would go to resurrect your dead party members, and then he also just tells you how much XP you need to get to the next level. Plus he's got this sweet music. I really love the music in this game. Maybe it's just the synth nature of it. I guess it's there's an FM chip in the original Sega Master System. There's also a hospital, but I guess there's not one in this town. So let me take you outside and show you the battle system, which is kind of from the same perspective as Dragon Warrior, except for there are backgrounds to the areas and little animations for you attacking them and for them attacking you, which is kind of cool. And unlike Dragon Warrior, well, Dragon Warrior 1 was this way, but you can only fight one type of enemy at a time. But what you can do, and you probably won't see this early in the game, but when I load my other save, you'll see it, is you can fight multiples of the same enemy at a time. I think up to 8. And monsters don't drop gold, they just drop treasure chests, which have gold in them, and sometimes those chests are trapped. They can either shoot you with an arrow. There's also multiple different backgrounds. So this last one was a grassland, and this is a forest. But yeah, those chests might have an arrow in them, or they might have an explosive, which hits multiple guys, and the arrow only hits one. And you can kill yourself that way, and get a game over if you're really unlucky, or happen to be at particularly low HP when the battle ended. Alright, let me show you, let me see if I can make it up there without having to do too many fights. You can run away, you can use items, you get magic, but not till a little later in the game. Here, I just want to show you this, because some of the backgrounds that you fight on even have animations in them, like the beach. So you get the little tide rolling in and out animation there. I always thought that was pretty cool. This guy will probably kick my ass. Now, when you die, you just go back to the main menu. So you have to, it's all saving and loading, but you can save anywhere, at least. Now, let me show you this save. It's more complete. So you get 4 party members. There they are. And they follow your basic archetypes. I'll compare them to the Final Fantasy ones. Like, Alice here is the main character. She's basically a red mage. She gets a little bit of healing magic, a little bit of offensive magic, and she does pretty decent physical damage. Meow is a cat. I don't know, that doesn't really fit into Final Fantasy, but I guess she does healing and damaging, and like physical attacks. Odin is like all fighter, all attacks, and Noah is your traditional black mage in that he does only damaging magics. He has some useful ones like for exiting dungeons and stuff like that. So, let me get on this little conveyor belt here, take you over to the next little area of this town. Yep, that's pretty sweet, I always thought. And yeah, that's right, this is an airport. You need a passport to travel between planets. Is this the shop? No, this is first food. I already have it, but this shop right here sells you passports. You can file for one. So, you need a passport to go between planets. Sorry, because, yeah, this is a spaceport, not an airport. So, let me show you a little bit of what a flight looks like here real fast. And then, I'll come right back to this planet. So now we're going to Motiva, which is the second planet in the Algol system. I'm on Palma currently. You can see it's a pretty traditional green land and ocean, sort of forested grasslands. And this one is desert. And also those red things right there are impassable until you get certain items in the game. So I'm just going to fly right back. But one of the other really nice things about these flights is that you're actually flying over real areas in the game, so you can walk there later, you can come back to them, you can see things that you weren't supposed to see until later on in the game. It's pretty interesting to me when I was a little kid. You can also skip forward through this, so it's not like hiding a load time, it's just there for you to see. Alright, now let me show you what a dungeon looks like. So dungeons were also pretty unique in comparison to like Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior in that they're all first person like this. And you can just wander into enemies as you go along. And they have this really awesome music. All the dungeons share it, to my knowledge. And there you can see like I'm fighting 5 of the exact same guy here. And each of the guys, there's palette swaps. Most monsters have 2 or 3 palette swaps. I think there's a very few that have 4, like maybe the dragons. I think there's a green, a white, a red, and a blue dragon. So, I'm not sure. And then there are a couple boss monsters that don't have any palette swaps. But, here we are in another town. There's also beggars in this world who will ask you for cola. And they'll give you information sometimes, or sometimes they'll just take the cola. It depends on the beggar. There's the hospital. Let me show you what the hospital looks like with the nurse. I don't need any help, but yeah, there's hospitals where you can heal yourself. Alright, now I'm going to come to this guy. I've just completed all of the requirements for him to finish making me my own spaceship. And then you can go to the 3rd planet, but it also goes to a unique spot on the other planet. And when we get there, I will show you a couple of other cool things about this game. So there's my very own spaceship. To pay for it, find him, find a robot, which is that guy, to pilot it for me. And here we go. So you'll notice there's a different flight path than the other one. So you can see different areas. I mean, it's not significantly different, but it is a little different. Which is, again, cool. So now I'm south of the little antlion things, and I can go to unique places. I'm going to take you down here to this other town called Casbah. And when we get there, I'm going to show you vehicles. This game had vehicles that you could buy and use. And that was pretty amazing. So there's 3 vehicles in the game. There's a Land Rover, which basically just lets you move across antlion hills that I mentioned. And it lets you move at a greater pace, and it also lets you listen to some new, awesome overworld music while you're in it. There's a hovercraft, which lets you go on water. And then on the final planet, which is an ice planet, there's an ice digger machine, which lets you dig through some ice mountains. Unfortunately, it's all trial and error, so it doesn't tell you which ones you get to dig through. You just have to run into walls until you find the right ones, or know where they are. These guys always freaked me out a little, the way their like face grew out and bit you. It's kind of a little scary animation there. There was an animation from this game going around on Tumblr for a while, which was like 3 zombies vomiting. That's an enemy in this game. Here we are. Must navigate this cave to get to the town. But luckily, it's not a maze, it's just a straight line. And you get to hear some more of this sweet dungeon music. So you can see the dungeons also look different on each planet. I think all of the dungeons per planet look sort of the same, in that, like, all of the ones on Motiva have this sort of yellow and red theme, and the ones on Palma are like sort of that bluish color. The ones on the ice planet are actually really cool because they just have the white wall on the right and left side, and the top, the floor, and the ceiling are just black. So here's another interesting thing you could do in this game. You could talk to some enemies, and then you didn't have to fight them, and they gave you secret tips about the game. So, for instance, that tarantula you could talk to. I always thought that was kind of interesting. Let me see how much money I have here. I might have to kill some time. Ooh, I do. Well, let me find some more guys here. Anyway. Long, straight cave. Well, I'll get the vehicle at least. That's coming right up here. I won't have enough money to buy. Another thing this game has in the sci-fi bent is one of your characters can use guns. Now, guns aren't particularly strong, but what they do have is they have fixed damage that they hit all of the guys for. Like, they hit every single one of the guys on the other team for that much. So, there's my Land Rover. No, nothing else. That will do, sir. Unfortunately, I can't really use it just outside this town because it's sort of locked in here. So I'm going to go right back through that cave again. And then I'll drive back up to the other town and buy a gun and show you that. So, like, this one just used special abilities on me. I'm tied up. Those two characters can't do anything until they remove the bindings, which just seems to happen randomly 1 to 3 turns later. Hopefully I can get another fight here and I can show you what my spells look like, because those also have unique, interesting animations. My attacking spells, that is. Ooh, this guy shoots fireballs too, so that's cool. So Alice, fire, and I'll cast wind with Noah. Maybe I'll get to see this guy cat. Oh, that's what wind looks like. And no fire. Next battle, maybe. So you can see those guys were a palette swap of that first bug I fought when I was level 1 at the intro. Alright, almost there. Then we can use the sweet, sweet Land Rover. Yep. Here we go. Fire. And I'll just cast wind again. So wind kind of works like the gun. Wind and fire both do a fixed amount of damage. Fire does it to 2 targets, wind to 3, and the wind can hit the same guy 3 times. So that's like really strong against bosses, for instance, because Noah normally does crappy damage. Alright. Aw, I was hoping that chest would explode. Those guys normally have trap chests. Luckily, these guys are all really weak. I'm like maybe a little bit overleveled. There's a trap. That was an arrow trap. I think it just like picks one of my guys. In this case, it was probably Alice, and hits them. But you see, Meow has a spell called Trap there that can remove traps from treasure chests. Also, there could be pit traps in dungeons where like you'd walk over it and then you'd fall down a floor and you'd have to navigate your way back out from lower on in the floor. That could be a real big pain in some of the later dungeons. Like you have to like know where the traps are to cast. Because you just step up to a spot and cast trap, and then if there was a pit here, you wouldn't fall down it. But you have no way to know where the pits are. There's no visual hint. In fact, there's even a couple of hidden doors where you can't see them on the right and left side of the wall as you walk by, but if you turn like this, there'll just be a door there. So that was pretty tricky for the time. In fact, to get to the last boss, you have to do that. You get trapped in a dungeon that is just like a long hallway with 2 dead ends, and then I believe it's on the right wall. There's, well, I guess it's subjective depending on which way you're headed, but in one of the walls you turn and there's a door there, and then you go through it, and then you get to fight the last boss. Yeah, that's the noise for leveling up. Not very exciting, but, you know, better than nothing. Alright. So you also have this huge item. You can only have a certain amount of items. You can see here there's like a compass that lets you get to a town that's hidden in a forest. It's my passport, my dungeon key for opening locked doors, my magic lamp. You didn't see this, but normally if you don't have a magic lamp and you enter a cave, you need to have a flashlight, or otherwise you don't have vision of it. This is like a quest item. These are those flashes I was talking about, and that's my robot that flies my thing. And here's my thing, and now I'm embarked. And then you get this sweet music. You still have to fight guys in the Land Rover, unfortunately. Let me just run right back up to that town real quick, show you a gun, and then we're done. So you can see monsters can cast spells at you too. This game is a pretty long game, and I really had a lot of fun playing it when I was a kid. It was definitely my, like... You know, I enjoyed Dragon Warrior, but nothing was even close to this until something like Final Fantasy came along, and then I sort of still liked the graphical feel of this over Final Fantasy, but maybe that's just because I played this first. Probably. You know, I mean, obviously the later Final Fantasies were way better, and I never had a Sega Genesis, so I didn't get any of the next games in this series. Let me see, which one of these is the one with the guns? Here we are. Hell yeah, I want to buy something. Give me that heat. I'm packing heat. Also, lightsaber. With those guards and lightsabers, oh, you know what? Here, let me do this. Let me sell his old weapon. I think you can only sell... I wonder if I could sell here or not. Nope, I have to sell. You can only sell at a second-hand store. Hopefully there's one of those up here, there. And then I'll buy the lightsaber too, because that has a pretty sweet... hateful game. Hateful, hateful game. Well, I will show you the gun, and then I'll come back, because the lightsaber has a pretty sweet noise for it. So let me see here. You'll know the gun. There it is. Shoots out a little fireball. Oh god, those guys are not worth any money. Alright. Game just does not want to give me random battles that can show off the gun, shooting multiple people at once. There's an exploding chest. You can see that all of my guys are probably pretty messed up. I guess it didn't do that much. Alright. One more try here. Well, that sort of works. Let's just do a bunch of shit. So you can see Odin shoot 2 people. that looks a lot like the Fireball. And there's another gun later on that's called the laser gun. The other thing about guns is they can never miss. So there's a couple of very hard to hit enemies in the game. I don't know why, maybe they have really high defense. But the gun is great at killing those, including, again, the last boss. Alright, let me see if I got enough here. I believe that's enough. I think it was just 2920. Alright. Yes, give me that sweet ha-ah. Bastard. Anyway. That's Phantasy Star. Sorry I couldn't show you the lightsaber. Don't want to waste any more of your time just for that. It's not that amazing. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching.